Welcome to Live Well with Juniper. I'm your host, Rachel Bremness. Juniper is all about optimizing health as we age. Here we talk about all things wellness and aging in Minnesota. Each week, I'll have guests join me to share wellness expertise, resources, and Juniper behind-the-scenes info with you. Joining me today is Dana Brumitt to talk about stress management and resilience for older adults. Dana has enjoyed a long career as a consultant with a focus on the life sciences, healthcare, medical device, and pharmaceutical sectors. She is an expert in adult learning systems, and for more than 30 years, Dana has played a key role in creating initiatives to improve learning processes, launch new medical devices, and deploy innovative technologies that improve health and well-being for millions of people. An experienced learning systems architect, she designed and authored some of the earliest computer-assisted learning programs for medical professionals and was a lead author of the first corporate employee wellness program in the nation. Her health and wellness curriculums have been used to train thousands of healthcare professionals, business people, pilots, educators, and students. In the last 10 years, Dana shifted her focus from the treatment side of things to prevention and returned to school to study integrative health and wellness. She completed her coaching training at Duke Integrative Medicine and became a national board certified coach, then continued her studies in resilience with Dr. Amit Sood at the Mayo Clinic. She is a certified instructor in Sood Stress Management and Resilience Program. A passionate lifelong learner, Dana has acquired additional certifications in health promotion disciplines, personal training, group fitness training, aquatic exercise, to name a few. She works with individuals and organizations to help people live happy, healthy lives at every age. She's an avid storyteller and accomplished writer and currently working on 2 books, and she works with older adults to help them document their life stories. A fun fact about Dana, since we are coming up on the 250th anniversary of our country, back in 1976, Dana rode with a group of friends her bike across the entire country to celebrate the bike centennial. And how many miles was that, Dana?
Depending upon who you talk to, between 3,500 and 4,000, because some people took detours.
Oh, I see. Oh, I think we should count those miles.
I think so too. Let's just call it 4,000 miles.
4,000 miles. Holy smokes. So will you be doing it again this year?
No, ma'am. I will not. Once is enough for some things.
I would say so. That's quite the distance to go. I have a hard time biking 10 miles to Stillwater, and there's ice cream at the end of that bike ride. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dana, to talk about stress and resilience.
Glad to be here.
Would you help us out first, just to make sure we're all starting with the same foundation? To get us started today, Dana, how would you, or could you help us define stress? How would you explain it?
Sure. Everybody experiences stress. We all know what that means, sort of. Stress is a negative thing. It's what we all feel. We're all living in stress time. We're frantic, rushed, all that kind of thing. But stress actually, physiologically, is a very positive and helpful response to a perceived body need or threat. Stress kicks off a reaction of brain chemicals that get you ready to either run a race, run away from a saber-toothed tiger, or maneuver in traffic. And it comes on all by itself. Heart rate goes up, respiration increases, all peripheral functions of the body are minimized so that the core can concentrate. And then it's gone. The moment is met, and then it's over. So it's good. It's part of our biological mechanism to manage threats. However, when it becomes chronic, which is the kind of stress I think you're talking about, Rachel.
Yes. Probably the one we think about when we think of stress.
Yeah.
Most of us do.
It is very costly to the body. It's damaging. Blood pressure goes up and then stays up. Brain starts spinning and stays spinning long after the moment has passed.
Mhm.
And many people today are living in a state of constant chronic stress. And this is not due to anything happening on the outside. This is an internal process that is
Mhm.
just running behind the scenes and causing havoc. Your immune system is suppressed. Your prefrontal cortex doesn't work as well, so you make poor decisions. Anxiety, restlessness, anger, you see that on the roads and stuff. That is all the natural byproduct of chronic unrelieved stress,
Mhm.
the bad stress. There's a good stress.
There is good stress.
There's a really
Yes.
good stress that you feel when you're anticipating something exciting,
Yeah.
a new grandchild, a competition or something. The very same mechanisms happen in your body, but they build you up. They don't tear you down.
Mhm.
So today we're talking about the bad stress.
The bad stress and having and fostering some resilience to
Mhm.
help with managing the bad stress.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And then how would we define resilience as it relates to stress, specifically if we can in the context of aging?
Yeah. Well, resilience is another thing that we have a certain measure of just because of our biology. But I think of it, and I think probably I'm borrowing this from my teacher, Amit Sood. He said, resilience is when you're doing well when you shouldn't be doing well.
Mm.
And so being able to face adversity, rise to it, and then learn under adversity of any kind, that is the meaning of resilience.
Mhm.
And it's the same for young people as
Mhm.
it is for older people. But I think for older people, maybe they encounter more adversity or have
Yeah.
encountered more adversity.
Yep.
And maybe some older people feel like they have fewer resources to
Mhm.
deal with it, to respond to it well.
Sure. Do you think stress presents differently for older adults than it does for younger people?
I think it can. These are big general statements, of
Sure.
course, but I think that it is more likely that an older person feeling sort of disempowered because of their age or because of whatever limitations they feel they have to respond to stress with depression
Mhm.
or sadness,
Mhm.
um, or a low level anxiety, or even to the point of apathy, where it's like, oh, well, what's the point?
Mhm.
Whereas a younger person usually gets spun up more with stress, more challenged, more energized, more proactive.
Mhm.
And sometimes older people do that as well. But um, as a general statement, I would say that older people experience stress and respond to stress with more of a passive hopelessness.
Sure. Which is interesting because given the experience of an older person of having navigated stress throughout their lifespan, there would
Mhm.
be a tremendous opportunity to pull from that resilience toolbox
Right.
to help with coping with it. But I think there are some things that come into play in that season of life that are hard and maybe a person hasn't encountered before, such
Yeah.
as losing
Yeah.
loved ones.
Oh,
Um, it can be a season of life where you're attending more funerals and weddings and baby showers, and that can be very difficult,
yeah.
like that constant grief, or just your own health challenges that come up
Right.
because uh, inevitably there are going to be health things that come up that we're going to need to
Yeah.
navigate.
There's a
Yes.
lot of losses involved with aging, and they're perfectly normal. And yet, it is a constant stream of
Mhm.
loss due to, like you said, big life events, loss of
Mhm.
spouse, loss of peers. I'm at the age right now where my friends are dying. It
Mhm.
used to be my parents and their friends were dying.
Yeah.
And now, so it's a different kind of realization. I think that there are activities like riding your bike 5,000, 4,000 miles across the country. They're not available to me anymore. And that's
Mhm.
a loss. It's a loss
Yeah.
of ability. And it's also a loss of, to some degree, self-identity,
Mhm.
or I feel less capable
Sure.
of that. And then, of course, other things, less capable of driving at night
Hmm.
in the rain.
Yes.
Or things like that. There's just this constant adjusting
Yeah.
to loss of professional identity out in the world. If you were professional, the
Hmm.
stature and status that comes with that, or if you had a home role, a homemaking role, or your role for many many years and identity was about raising a family and stuff. That's your kids are gone.
Yeah.
They're gone, and now your whole purpose has to change.
Hmm. It's really a recalibration of self.
Mhm.
And so, to that point, how do we strengthen resilience? Can we strengthen resilience at any age? And if so, how?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes and yes and yes, because um, it is entirely available. Brain science has been studied, stress management, aging has been studied now, and we know so much more about the brain's capacity for plasticity, resilience, building new neural networks, that there are proven strategies for building a resilient mind.
Hmm.
And of course, it has to start with just the old-fashioned, boring, healthy lifestyle advice.
Sure. Back to that.
We all know this, and I just call it eat, move, sleep, smile, pray. Nutritious diet, move, 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 sleep well,
Yeah.
smile as the emotional connections, the social connections, and pray, a connection with something higher.
Hmm.
Start there. We start there.
Yes.
Everybody can start there.
Yes.
But then there are some disciplines and some, I guess, principles actually that contribute very specifically to resilience. And it's interesting. These are not, we think stress is because something outside, something external has caused the stress. My car accident caused the stress. My job loss caused the stress. My grandkids caused the stress, whatever. Um, Actually, stress is internally generated. And so the good news is that
Mm,
it can be internally
interesting.
manipulated.
Yes.
And I'll just really quickly run them off here. There's 5 principles: gratitude,
Hmm.
compassion, acceptance.
I'll help you count.
I said 5, didn't I?
You did. We need 2 more.
Meaning and forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
All of these principles, we'll call them, not strategies, are internally cultivated. And we know how to do that.
Hmm.
And when they are internally cultivated and practiced and put into place in a life, that person becomes so resilient that they can withstand just about anything.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, those definitely can be cultivated and practiced. That's one of the classes I teach. Dr. Sood's program from the Mayo has been clinically tested for years. And they've actually done fMRIs to see the brain scans of what happens when
Hmm.
you intentionally practice gratitude.
Hmm.
It's amazing. The brain actually creates new neural networks.
Hmm.
And so the big answer to your question is yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we can build that resilience.
So how does a person do that? For example, a daily practice of gratitude. Does that look like gratitude journaling? Does that look like changing how I like self-talk, how I might be talking to myself about something upsetting that happened in my day? Like maybe I was going to be on time for work and then a train came and here I am waiting for the train for 10 minutes and now I'm 10 minutes late. Like how does a person do that practice?
Yeah. Well, that practice is a combination of several. You have to add acceptance to that, and
Hmm.
you have to add meaning to that.
Hmm.
But to that specific situation, um, you have a job to go to.
Hmm.
I'd be grateful for that. Many
Absolutely.
people would love to be late for work because it would mean they actually have a job. The chronically
Hmm.
unemployed or someone
Hmm.
who's struggling with that, you reframe that into what is it I can be grateful about? Grateful that I have a car to drive. Grateful in just that one tiny scenario, grateful that you can drive on the roads, you know the direction, you have a job to go to. This is not Pollyanna thinking. This is like recognizing
Mhm.
what's going on and finding something in it
Mhm.
that has meaning. You have a job, and
Yeah.
actually you have a really understanding manager who will say, yeah, I hope you always stop for trains. Maybe you could leave a little earlier. But there's much in that one little scenario that a person can be grateful for. Sometimes when I'm teaching people how to cultivate a practice, I will have them start doing a journal. And no big deal, just a spiral notebook. First thing you do before you get out of bed in the morning
Mhm.
is to write down 5 things in that moment that you're grateful for.
Mhm.
And that's pretty easy when you get started, if you're honest,
Mhm.
that you woke up, that you are in a bed, that
Yes.
you in a house. Just sometimes an absurdly small practice will start you into the process of thinking with more gratitude, with more awareness of how much there is in your life, no matter
Mhm.
how hard it is, that you can be grateful for.
Yeah.
And that, just like any other practice, when it's repeated, it gets stronger and it grows.
Mhm.
And if you were getting an fMRI when you were doing that, you would actually see new brain neural networks being
Mhm.
formed.
I was sitting here wondering that, like, is this like exercise where
It,
I'm working to strengthen my muscles and eventually my muscles get stronger and I don't have to work so hard. It
exactly.
gets easier. And it sounds
Yeah.
like that's the case.
Yeah. And that particular one involves acceptance.
Mhm.
Accept the fact that there is a train.
Yeah.
There's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about that.
Which is,
You
yeah, which is probably where this is different from what some might say toxic positivity, where I'm
Yes.
just going to pretend everything's sunshine and roses all the time, because there is that acceptance of what is beyond our control.
Right.
There is finding something meaningful to be grateful about. I see what you mean about how these 5 components are really interrelated and you can't just practice one.
You can't. They're integrated. And I think about your question about riding my bike. We've talked, my group, about riding again on the 250th. And then we all went, wait a second. Even the youngest of us at that time are in our 70s. It's like, I need to accept the fact that that's not in my wheelhouse anymore.
Mhm.
And so you can choose how to accept that. You can choose to embrace that and say, what can I do then? We're going to
Mhm.
have a reunion. Okay, let's do that. I can fly to wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Like,
can
what can we
swim.
do? Yes.
What can I do when I can't do this? And it's easy to say that when it's something like that. But if it's something like, I have a really dear young friend who just realized that she's going to be blind in her right
Mm.
eye for the rest of her life. She's only in her 40s,
Mhm.
and she'll get there. But right now,
Yeah.
she's at the stage of fighting that.
Yeah.
And so accepting that she will get there, but accepting the reality that you're living in is a huge piece of resilience, and it will
Mhm.
contribute to your peace of mind and happiness. And then you go to the next one, meaning, finding meaning in it, some kind of meaning, building a meaning, even if it's not real. I know people have often said things like, I missed a flight. And now everything from that point on, the thing I was going to speak at is over.
Mhm.
Professionally, I take a hit. I don't know what, it's going to cost money, blah, 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 this cascade of things. But then they learned the plane crashed
Mm.
or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what is the meaning you can draw out of your disappointment or sometimes even your calamity?
Yes. Absolutely. Or it's sometimes if the flight's delayed too. I know they're like going off of that example. I remember I was on a work trip and our flight home got delayed. And for all of myself and all my coworkers, that meant we were going to be delayed from returning home to our families. And
Mhm.
there was an instinct to be frustrated about it. But it was in that moment, many of us kind of stepped back and reflected and thought, you know what? this airline wants to get us home as much as we want to get home. We're all on the same team here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this delay is for mechanical error. We want that fixed. We
Right.
want to be on a safe
You
plane.
want the plane to be
Yep.
working right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then what can we do in the interim to make this enjoyable for ourselves?
Right.
And so we found a restaurant, we got a bite to eat, we just talked and had a great time until eventually within a couple hours we got to fly home.
Mhm. Yeah, there are many stories like that about people who met someone who later became their best friend because they were both stuck somewhere, or
Yes.
their spouse because they were stuck somewhere, or because of someone stopped to help change their tire beside the road
Mhm.
and they became fast friends, or a job opportunity opened. But you build meaning into it if
Mhm.
you want to. That
Mhm.
is a willful choice. And we can build meaning into anything that happens in our life.
Mhm. Are there any lessons you think that younger generations can learn from older adults about coping with hardships and fostering resilience,
Mm,
or
indeed.
should learn?
Yeah, I think so. And it's back to, um, get a bigger picture and talking when I was a young person, I loved talking to old people, and they seemed to have a natural instinct or a natural understanding that they were not the center of the universe, that the story of life is much bigger than just them.
Mhm.
And I think for all of us, but I think particularly a young person today might need to be reminded of that,
Mhm.
that the world is not revolving around you and whatever frustration you're having at the moment, but to step back and get a bigger picture of your role in the world and your things that you do have and the abilities and the opportunities that are available to you. I think that's something that young people could learn by spending
Mhm.
time with older people.
Definitely. I would just add to that to say I've observed that the older individuals in my life have different and I would say better perspective on what's important.
Mm, mhm.
And especially when it comes to navigating hard
Yeah,
things and what, because of having experienced hardship in the past,
yeah,
things like getting a flat tire on an inconvenient day aren't as stressful
right.
because they've experienced a cancer diagnosis from
Yes,
someone that they love.
yes,
We can fix a flat tire. Like
yeah,
we can fix that within a
yeah.
couple hours. We have AAA, whatever, we have a handy person in our life that we can call.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like something like a cancer diagnosis has a lot more
mhm,
gravity to
yeah,
it. I've just appreciated how the way they navigate through life with that perspective,
yeah.
which is hard earned for
Yeah, and
sure.
I think you're right. Older people just have more experience to draw from,
Hmm.
and so they know.
They
They
know.
know. And that's why we always say annoying things to young people like, "Oh, you'll learn. When you get older, you'll know."
Yeah.
But it's absolutely true
Yeah.
that, with that life experience, you have more understanding of, yeah, this is hard, and yeah,
Yeah.
there's a bigger story. It's okay. It's
Absolutely.
gonna be okay.
Because
It's
over however many years, 60, 80, 100-year
yeah,
history of life, things are going to happen
right,
to us. And when
right.
we learn from them, and it does put things in perspective
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Are there any reasons you think older adults might be hesitant to seek help for stress or mental health challenges? And if so, what would you say to them to encourage them
Mm.
to get curious about these topics?
Yeah. I think there's a natural reluctance of, I'll speak about my generation, to admit that they need it.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up with a lot of therapy counseling available. It wasn't something you just, and especially even people a little bit older than me, it's like you just did
Mhm.
it. It's like quit your whine and just do it kind of thing. There was this sort of natural ability and perseverance that was just assumed. And so having an issue or a problem or something, it felt like weakness,
Mhm.
that it would be weak, it would be embarrassing to have to ask somebody to help you with an emotional
Yeah.
thing. So I think that's probably at play for a lot of older individuals. And plus, I think sometimes older individuals have experienced some dismissive attitudes from the
Mhm.
healthcare professions. And so they just feel like nobody will listen to me anyway.
Yeah.
They'll roll their eyes and go, "Oh, she's old, whatever."
Mhm.
And why pursue that?
Mhm.
And besides that, I have to make an appointment online, and I'm so sick and tired of putting a new password in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think the personal barrier is one of identity.
Mhm.
I don't do those. We don't do therapy in this household
Mhm.
or something like that they may have grown up with.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what would I say to them? Oh my goodness, what would I say? Oh, honey, come on. I would just, I actually would say and have said to people before, it's like we all need a little help from our friends at
Mhm.
times. And you can learn so much from a professional that it can really get you over this tough time. You might just want to give it a try because you're pretty
Mhm.
brave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is pretty brave.
It is brave. It
To-
is brave
to
to
go
open
see-
yourself
yeah.
up like that. It's
Mhm.
vulnerable and it's brave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And I think just thinking about your experience, Dana, and this certifications that you've gathered throughout your career in these different areas
Mhm.
and that expertise, much of this wasn't even available
It was
several
not.
years ago, and it is available now.
It is now.
So why not try it out?
Exactly. I still run into people in my life that are not aware that they can get some gym memberships for
Sure.
free
Yeah.
if you're on Medicare.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's just a lack of maybe awareness in the world they're living in,
Mhm.
lack of exposure perhaps.
Yes.
It's something new comes into your orbit. It's hard to just grab it and apply it because it's in your mind. It doesn't, you start to even see it sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there. It wasn't there. Nobody that you know was doing that. And so it doesn't even occur to you to seek help.
Mhm. Yes, and then there's so many good resources available,
Yeah.
and we don't know till we start asking.
Right.
And as we prepare to wrap up here, Dana, what is the best piece of wellness advice that you've received, or at least a really good one that you can share with us?
Okay. Well, you asked for one. I'm going to give you two. But the first one is a piece of advice I got from a dear friend who was 101 years old at the time. And we talked a lot about what's the secret. I loved him. And he was like, what's the secret to living well? And he said, learn to accept your losses.
Mm.
And, the real profound truth of that is starting to hit me now.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for that to sink in. And now I think I would even add to it and say, not just accept your losses, but actually embrace them, because that is more in line with the reality of the
Mhm.
universe, actually, that the cycle of life comes and goes, it changes. And if you can embrace that, then you will be resilient.
Mhm.
And the other one is, I would say, if I were going to give some advice, I would say to people, say yes to everything you can say yes to.
Mhm. I like that. Yes, get curious, explore, try new things. Well, thank you so much, Dana.
Thanks, Rachel, for inviting me. It's been great to have this conversation with you.
Well, I'm so grateful you could be here. And one thing we didn't mention in your intros, you do lead some Juniper classes, specifically
Yep.
Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance.
Yep.
So people can find those classes on the Juniper website. Are there any other ways people can get in touch with you if they're curious to learn more about what we've discussed today?
Sure. I would invite anybody who's interested to go to my website, dsblearning.com. Lowercase d, lowercase s, lowercase b, learning.com. And it just has it's a simple website. And at the end, there's a place that you could send me a note and I will get back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dana. Well, and thank you everyone for listening. I'm Rachel Bremness, and you've been listening to Live Well with Juniper. Like this podcast, support us with a donation at yourjuniper.org/donate. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to share with friends. Until next time, be well.